Chapter 65. The Bounty Hunters. Air farce. Why the hell are you on this short-range network? Mr. T demands as he and his squad get ready to hit the Sky Raiders compound. Our biker gang has a few runs they like to use. Some are damn close to the place. Well, whatever. Keep your chatter down. We've got 3 teams trying not to shoot each other here. Yay, it's going on mute now. If you'll excuse me, I've got a bunch of teenagers to try and talk sense into. Air farce groans into the network, getting a round of chuckles from everyone listening in. Wouldn't you rather be dodging anti-air guns? The Hat asks flippantly, as his team can be vaguely heard giggling near him. Yes, Air farce says wryly, and the chuckles return. Best of luck, gentlemen. Team Swords going in. Ryu remarks into the network. You heard the man. Operation Sky Smash is a go. Mr. T says, and leads his team of heavily armed but lightly armored pirates into the compound from underneath one of its main docking bays. A plasma cutter gets them through the wall, and an axiom-silenced pistol shot gets the guards. All right, ladies, keep your eyes and ears open and your mouths shut. We need to get to their in-place defenses and break everything if we're going to make a clean getaway. Team Swords taking care of security and getting us full access while Team Gremlin is rigging their air fleet into a series of death traps. They'll be marking the only usable ones with a stylized skull. When we leave, those are the ones we steal. Understood? He asks, and there's a round of nodding. Excellent. Team Whisper is a go. They race through the halls, following the memorized map layout and silently gunning down any Sky Raider they run into. The first anti-air defense is empty, so they simply set the bombs to the triggers and cut the lines towards the actual guns. They also put up a small transceiver that will broadcast a detonation signal. When one bomb goes off, all the bombs go off. The controls will be totally destroyed, but the actual weapons themselves will be intact. Coming back later to salvage these things is of massive interest to the pirates. Second chamber has 2 guards, one of which he executes with a shot to the back of the head, as the Nagasha with him grabs the other around the mouth, arms and head to immobilize her before snapping her neck. The bomb is set, linked to both the trigger and the bomb network they're setting up. They then go racing to the next one. There are a dozen different capital-scale laser cannons in the base, and all of them need to be shut down if a clean getaway is to be expected. The next 3 are empty and easily rigged up. The Sky Raiders weren't expecting trouble, and the security was lax. There's the deep metallic smell of blood on the way to the next defensive emplacement when a door opens and the stench of blood flows thick and strong as the several different hues of bodily fluids pour out to drift down the hall. A blood-soaked Snikt, easily identified as one of Team Sword, staggers out and pants as she leans against the wall. The woman is coated in blood as if she'd gone swimming in gore. Ryu nearly staggers out next, and Mr. T just stares at him. The hell, man? He asks after a moment. Those muscle spider women? 4 huge legs? 4 huge arms? You know those? Ryu asks, and he nods. Brute Arachna. Really strong. Known jumpers and have a tendency to leave massive silken anchor lines to rappel down when they want to. Mr. T states, well, they've got about 50 gallons of blood under high pressure. God almighty, it was like a fire hose, and there were 3 of them, Ryu says as he wipes off a film of gore from his face and flicks it to the ground as several more of his team stagger out of the room with distinctly sickened looks on their faces. Is everything... We're on the up and up. They're blind and deaf without backup coming, but we're moving the rest of our hacking operation to the backup security room. Also, if there's time, we're going to run through their showers when they're on full blast. We need this mess off. Yes, granted. Dear God, Mr. T says quickly. All right, girls, we're going around the longer way. We don't want to leave a trail of blood and God knows what else. He orders, and his entire team doubles back and takes a few side hallways because, dear God, all that blood. 3 more defenses are sabotaged with only another 2 deaths between them all. Team Gremlin, reporting success in our first objective. We've sabotaged 90% of the enemy fleet and prepped the remainder for our escape. Moving on to our secondary target now. Confirmed Team Gremlin, this is Team Sword. We're unlocking the vaults now. Ryu says over the comms. Hey guys, need reinforcements? I think I'm getting to these girls. Air Farce chimes in. No, and stay off this network. Mr. T snaps. There's no response and he nods. Certain that whatever Air Farce is up to, he's doing his job. Air Farce is currently flying upside down and backwards as he keeps pace with the head of the local bikers gang. Look, I get it. You've been let down, used up, and thrown out. No one's blaming you for being angry. Hell, I'd be angry in your seat. Air Farce remarks to the girl's riveting argument of bite me. What do you know? She demands as she guns the engine, and Air Farce keeps pace, riding the bike he's strapped himself into for more high-speed maneuvers. I know that this world has been screwed over and left to rot. The Veeks choke the life out of it. The Scorchin and Lean wage all-out war for their table scraps. You've got psychotic Axiom adepts screwing over everyone else on top of there being more thieves in most cities than people. Everyone's pissed off, everyone's hungry, everyone's at the breaking point. He argues and she slams the brakes so hard he overshoots and has to zoom back. Willing to talk now? The hell do you want? She demands, glaring at him. This is a job offer. The people who hired me have already bumped off the Veeks and tonight are working over literally every major group on the planet. You and your girls are on the list as... The moment the last sentence leaves his mouth, he knew he screwed up as she streaks away and her gangsters start priming the weapons. That he showed up in an unarmed air bike had bought him all the leeway he was going to get. Now it got dangerous. He cracks his neck, slips on a pair of driving gloves, and with an enormous smile puts on a pair of aviator shades. Let's rock, he says, and guns the engine to make the normally quiet air bike roar with power. Boss lady, think we lost him? One of her girls asks, and Bex just snarls back, her carnivore teeth on display. Don't care. We see him again, we shoot him. She hisses loud enough to be caught on the linked mics on the bikes. That's not very friendly, Air Farce remarks as he swoops into the formation from the side. He weaves around some laser fire. Here to talk. He dips under an attempt to ram him. For the most part. A spin has him dodge a burst of plasma by a hair. You don't have to be. He manhandles his bike around so he's flying sideways and keeping perfect pace with them in an absurd display of skill. So hostile. Who are you? The leader demands as she holds up a fist to stop her crew from firing on him. He changes his unusual flying profile to match hers. Special Agent and Bounty Hunter Rico Bravo, codename Air Farce. My team and I have been hired by the EFL Tiger to facilitate their conquest of this world. To that end, we're helping them wipe out the competition and recruit local talent. You girls fall in the local talent range. He explains with a salute. Wait, a Tret Man bounty hunter. I think I've heard of that. Everyone. We're landing to talk it out. She bellows to her crew and swoops down to the craggy ground below. The canyon-riddled plains are great places for the girls to party and ride, even better for hiding from the local bitches. Thanks for listening. My job here is to get you girls on board, and if I can't do that, to get a good solid look at you to see if you're going to be a problem for the bosses. Air Farce explains, and the feelie gives him the stink eye. Oh, really? And am I trouble? She asks, feeling her hackles rise and her tail slap into the sides of her bike. No, he says simply. No, it wasn't the answer she expected. You and your gang want to have fun and be left alone for the most part. The Scorchin, the Lean, the Veeks, and all the other pieces of shit floating around in this place won't, so you keep getting into fights. But all of the people giving you a hard time are on the list to be wiped out. meaning that even if you say no, then the policy will be to leave you alone unless you do something really, really stupid. And you're not that stupid, are you? Air Farce explains. Oh, yay. And how do you expect to get rid of the big three? They've got entire fortresses and small armies. She challenges, and Air Farce grins widely. The girls of the EFL Tiger took out the Vaques first by slipping in a lot of agents during a deal. They expected a backstab, and when it happened, everyone showed off that they had enough axiom skill to snap the guards like twigs, then took their weapons. The Vaques have been gone for weeks, he explains. And the lean, the scorchin, she asks, not really daring to believe news like that, not without proof. My teammate Bike is organizing their deaths as we speak. He's the eye in the sky and the voice in the ears of the defectors from both criminal families. I'll put solid credits on them already being dead and the guards in the compounds running around without a clue. What else are you hitting? She asks. The slaver compounds up north, the sea gangs to the east, that fucking organ harvesting operation and their suppliers, the serial killer in the tent city southeast, and the rumored monsters haunting the mines near the slave camps. And we've got our axiom expert outright hunting the two witches. After that, it's mostly rebuilding and cleanup duty. If you girls sign on, that's what you'll be helping with, kicking in the teeth of thieves and drug lords while helping ship supplies where they're needed so the world can be rebuilt. Why though? Knocking out the competition makes sense, but why rebuild? What's in it for you? Me and my team's getting our payment in looting the gangs. The EFL Tiger and her crew, on the other hand, get a progressively richer and nicer world to rule that loves them more and more for it. Cute. Got any proof? She challenges him, and he smirks and pulls out a pair of enhanced binoculars. He tosses them over. A far scanner? Watch the Sky Raider Citadel. We've got 3 teams in there right now. Any minute now they're going to trip an alarm and then everything happens at once, he says, pointing to the large building far in the distance. Someone rig up a projector. Whatever happens, I want to see all of it. Beck's orders, and quickly enough a high-powered camera is pointed at the distant citadel, and on the craggy canyon wall below the image is projected as they all watch eagerly. It happens in seconds. The lights turn on bright and there's the tiny traces of plasma shots going through the air. A huge amount of heavily armed gunships rocket out of the building, but almost all of them suddenly jolt before careening towards the ground and crashing. The few that get away just keep going as the powerful laser cannons track them before suddenly powering down as smoke starts leaking through some windows to ever so slightly darken the bright night. Looks like a perfect getaway. Defenses crippled, fleet broken, and what wasn't busted was stolen. Job well done. Air Farce notes as he's handed his scanner back by a stunned Bex. So, one on board? This is nuts. That had to be a lucky guess or something. You need more? Yes. You know how those complete lunatics, the cutting one and the electricity one, keep filming themselves killing people? It's disgusting. That's a yes. They're doing it again tonight. But one of us is out there to fight them. Tune into their channels. Do you have any idea how disgusting that is? What is wrong with you? She demands, and he sighs as he unlatches himself, gets off his bike and sets down the binoculars. He walks over to the projector and fiddles with it himself, just in time to show all of them Franklin stomping the continent back into position. Ah, looks like Frankie Boy's having some fun with his victims. Bad form, Franklin. Bad form, he chides. How's the pop gun? Franklin asks, seemingly no one before nodding slightly. Then get it ready. I'll finish this one myself. Oh, something must have happened to J3's gun. She'd be dead otherwise, so they're just prepping for the thunder thought. Air Farce notes out loud before chuckling. Pull up some snacks, girls. I get the feeling this is going to be good.